Welcome, Park Hill teachers. This is Module 2 of your Nystrom World. Let's do a little reflecting on Module 1 first. In Module 1, you did learn how to navigate both Explorer and Researcher. You learned how to search for activities and to share atlases with your students. And you learned how to hide answers when you were using the mapping activities. For Quest 1 and Quest 2, let's take a look. In Quest 1, you were asked to replicate what I had showed you in the first module. And I'd like to know, what was the topic you chose? How many activities did you find? Did you encounter any challenges? And if so, what were they? Take a moment and jot that down. Quest 2 was a bit different. It was about making an assignment, which we had not yet done in Module 1. But I gave you the tools with which to move forward if you chose to. How many of you chose to move forward with Quest 2? And if you did you find it easy or difficult? What was your experience like in using the teacher's guide to learn how to do those steps? I'd love to hear about it. At the end of today's module, you'll hear and see my email address. Please send me your responses. I'd love to see what you guys have chosen to reflect on. Today, we're going to move forward and we're going to be using the icons that we didn't use in Module 1, but we are going to begin in activity search. We're going to review that a bit more before we move to the other icons down here in this section. Let's take a look first at activity search. Today, I put in my keyword search as Africa. Remember, we can do a keyword search or we can use this advanced search, either one. We talked about those in Module 1. I'm going to use Africa as my search. I'm going to click my search tool and I get my responses. And look at this, I get 20 responses per page. There are 2 full pages. I got a total of 40 responses related to the topic of Africa. Now, the one I've chosen to share with you today is this Mapping U.S. History, and it's a close reading. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is because we have so many great tools in Nystrom World that will really help you and your students get through more difficult text. It'll help your struggling learners. It'll help your ELL students. So let's take a look at mapping. We're going to assign this to our students. So when we open it up, we can see that we have the short reading. Yes, this is the one we want to assign. So we select the silhouette of a person, and that's our assign button. On the new assignment page, the first thing I want to do is I want to actually enter what it is I want them to do with the reading. So I've chosen, I want them to read and highlight the main idea in each paragraph, and then I want them to highlight the benefits of the Columbian exchange to Europeans. This is going to go under our custom highlights here, and then we'll complete the assignments here. When I open custom highlights, I see that we have a number of default highlights. Now, I just like to go ahead and start from scratch and pick the ones I want, so I just go through and delete each of these, and I come over here and create my own highlights. So you can see I've created the benefits of the Columbian exchange to Europeans and main idea. I put it here under label. I choose the color of highlight that I want to use. I click add my highlight. And what I'm doing is I'm building my highlights that I want the students to use. And once I get those built, I click done. Now, that is now in my button there that will go out to the students. I have selected my due date and my unlock date. I've selected the activities I want to share. I've decided to share it with my class, the first period Columbia class. I clicked my button here to transfer it over to my selection. I click save and I'm done. And once I'm done, I get this link here, and this link I can now put in Schoology, Canvas, or any other kind of learning management system that I'm using. So let's review for a second. How did I find an activity? How we assigned the activity, and how we created those custom highlights. Now we're going to switch views for a moment. We're actually going to switch to the view of a student, and we're going to see how a student retrieves an assignment, how they apply the highlighting, and how they can apply our text-to-speech tools. Let's take a look at a student account. I am now student 1, and I can see that these are the assignments my teacher has given me. And I'm going to click on this first assignment here that I need to work on. My teacher instructions automatically populate. I can either click the X or click anywhere on the page and they disappear. Should I need them again, they are right here in this first icon. So let's take a look at some of the icons and what we're going to be getting out of those. First of all, I'm going to click on this last one here. It's a speaker, and it's going to open my text-to-speech toolbar. Now, there are a lot of things in this toolbar that are familiar to you. A play button, pause, and a stop. Play will cause our speech-to-tool feature to start reading to the student. So if you have a student on an IEP who needs material read to them, second language learner, or just someone who is not yet proficient in their reading, you can have the play button read to them. There are some additional resources here that we want to look at. I'm going to highlight the word claim with my cursor, and I want to translate that word into my home language, and my home language is Spanish. So I'm going to go to the world here for world languages, world languages. Let's go there. And I've now got my translation into Spanish by using the world. What else can I do? Leaving my word highlighted, I move to the icon of a book, which is our dictionary, and I get our definitions. Move to the icon of a symbol, and I get a symbol for the term claim. So there's lots of features here that are great for struggling learners, those who are maybe dyslexic, who need to have something read to them. Variety of reasons for these icons to benefit your students. Now, the other part of that was they were supposed to highlight the main idea in each paragraph and the benefits of the Columbian Exchange on Europeans. So here we go. I'm going to highlight with my cursor. I go up here to this button here. It's called the annotation button, but I call it a highlighter. And I'm going to click on my highlighter. There's what I highlighted with my cursor. I now have a pull down menu here to decide, oh, is that my main idea? Yes. Click Save Changes. It highlighted it in gray. Put the annotation on the right hand side of my screen. Now I'm going to do another one and look at this one. This one I'm changing to the benefits of Europeans. Saving my changes. There's my highlight, benefits to Europeans. This is a great tool. I love using the highlighting tool in here because we customize it for every reading. That means that for every reading, I can give the students a real purpose for that, and they can interact with the text, which we know is very important for all learners, but particularly struggling learners. Once I'm done with my activity, oh, and by the way, you can see down here, there's a vocabulary and context. There was actually a matching activity down here. I'm going to select confirm, and once I select confirm, my assignment has been submitted. So in review, as a student, we retrieved an assignment, we used the highlighting tool, and I used the text-to-speech tools. Now we're going to switch back to a teacher view. And at teacher view, we're going to grade our assignments that we just completed. We're going to go to the discussion board. We're going to look at what kind of ongoing professional learning is available, and we're going to look at how we get support when we need it. Let's get going. Here we go. We're going to start out by grading that assignment. I'm going to click on Assignments and Grades. You can see I'm managing assignments now. Going over here, grade, there's my A+. I can grade my assignment. There's student 1 that completed the assignment. Student 1 made a 6 out of 7. You can see how they've done the matching here. how it has scored that matching. The value of each question was 1 point. You have the opportunity to alter the value of all the points in your Nystrom account. And whenever you do so, it automatically changes the grade and automatically changes the value on everyone else's paper as well. Now, we also did that highlighting though, so we want to look at that. So on this, to look at the highlighting, we're going to click on the view button and we'll actually go into the student's account to look at this. I'm going to click OK. Look at this. I'm still student 1 here. And you can see, whoops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that one. You can see here where we've done some highlighting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor right on the highlighting and click on that. And it shows what I've clicked on. It shows what the student has said about it. That's the main idea. And I'm just going to respond to that and say, way to go. Save my changes. And look what's happened over here now. Now there's a bell right here that tells the student that the student has some feedback from the teacher. All right, great. So now we've got where we can see what the students have actually highlighted. We can interact with this in that paperless classroom, give them feedback just as if we were handing a paper back to them. So let's return here. We've graded our work. We viewed it. Now, if you wanted to provide a grade for what they have highlighted, you would just come in here and change this grade, and that whatever grade you put there will stay. I'm going to go to my grade book. And in my grade book now, you can see here are all the different assignments I've made. Here is my list of students, and all of them have these red tabs. Well, these red tabs mean that I haven't done anything with it yet. So I can do one of two things: allow another attempt for the assignment, or I can publish the grades. I'm going to choose to go ahead and publish the grades. And in doing so, my button turns green, and that lets me know that I've given the students that assignment back. Let's go to the discussion board. For every assignment that you create in Nystrom World, there is a discussion board link that is automatically generated. With us now working from home more than ever, we can use this link just as if you were in a college course where students can discuss, share, collaborate with one another. Let's look at our professional learning. We don't want these modules to be the only professional learning you receive from us, so we have some additional options. First, we offer micro-credentials. Micro-credentials are the newest format of professional learning. With a micro-credential, what you're doing is you're using competency-based learning to acquire the skills of any of these things that we have already produced. We focused a lot on the C3 framework, and you'll find that we have the C3 framework, the 4 dimensions available in the different grade bands of K2, 3, 5, and 6, 12. Each of these take about 15 hours to complete, but upon completion, you receive a digital badge that shows that you have indeed added to your own learning, and that will in itself make you feel better about what you've done, because you have produced something that indicates your real competency here, rather than just having attended a webinar or an on-site training where you're just kind of like checking off hours. This really has more to do with implementation, that you actually used what you learned, and you have to do that in order to receive your micro-credential. Now, the Learning Corner is our blog area, and we have blogs on all kinds of general topics as well as specific topics. We have blogs on using Nystrom World. We have blogs on things such as standards-based grading. For webinars, we have webinars every month. We offer 2 per month that are relevant to you. They are emailed out every month about a week prior to their start time, in which you're given the link so that you can register. But you can also get ahead of the game by checking out our webinars and registering for the ones you're interested in. As you can see, we're kind of winding down right now. We're getting to the end of May. And we'll start our webinars back again in August, and you'll have a full list of webinars to choose from August through December, not too long before school actually begins. Also, I'd like to point out that if you click on the question mark on any page, that is our help page. And our help page provides a user's guide for Nystrom World. It is a step-by-step how to do everything in Nystrom World. Also, we provide the same type of guide for your students, step-by-step on how to do this. Perhaps you want to print a class set, let each class use the same set, or maybe you just want to direct them to that in their own account so that they can look at it in a digital format. So let's look at our third quest. Given the training that you just completed, I'd like you to select an activity, assign it to your students with custom highlights, grade it, and publish it. And then email me. I'd love to hear what you selected to be your first assignment to share out with your students, and I'd love to hear more about it. How did it go? Did you encounter any challenges? What were the wins of giving them an assignment from Nystrom World? I'd love to hear about your experiences. Please email me, pgothard@socialstudies.com. Please jot that down. I'd love to hear from you. pgothard@socialstudies.com. It's been a pleasure being with you for Module 2. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to help@socialstudies.com. Thank you and have a lovely afternoon.